One late summer night, my friend Holmes invited me to join him on a strange case. It was the murder of Colonel Barclay. Holmes wished to tell me some facts about it. Before we visited Aldershot, the site of the tragedy, most of his information came from Major Murphy, an acquaintance of the Barclays. Colonel Barclay was a fine soldier and commanded a regiment. He and his wife Nancy had no children but were a happily married couple, even though Colonel Barclay had a violent temper. Major Murphy also mentioned that the colonel often became depressed. His fellow soldiers noticed too that he disliked being left alone, especially after the dark. On the evening of her husband's death, Mrs. Barclay had accompanied her friend and neighbor, Mrs. Morrison, to a meeting. She returned home after about 40 minutes, having left Mrs. Morrison at her residence. The colonel joined his wife in the front room on her arrival. The room faced the road and opened on to the lawn by a glass folding door. Only a low wall divided the house from the highway. When the maid brought tea into the room, she heard the Barclays arguing loudly and angrily. The door was locked from inside. She ran back to call the two other servants. They heard Mrs. Barclay cry out,
"You coward!"
again and again. Then there was a loud cry in a man's voice, a crash, and a scream of a woman. The servants tried the force to open the door as the screams continued, but it did not open. The coachman ran round the lawn. One side of the window was open and he could enter the room. Mrs. Barclay lay unconscious on a couch. The colonel lay dead in a pool of blood. The coachman tried to open the door to get help from the other servants, but the key was missing. He went out again, therefore, through the window to get a policeman and a doctor. An examination showed that the cut on the colonel's head had been caused by a violent blow from a blunt weapon. Close to the body, they found a wooden stick. The missing key could not be found. No information could be got from the lady, as she continued to be seriously ill with brain fever. But both the servants and the police recall clearly that the dead man's face had an expression of fear.
Now, Watson, it seems to me that the most peculiar part of the case was the disappearance of the door key. If neither the colonel nor his wife had taken it, a third person must have entered the room, and that too through the window. I was able to get very clear expression of his footmarks. But what surprised me was not the man, but his companion.
Holmes pulled out a sheet of paper. It bore the footmarks of a small animal with long nails. I was perplexed.
It is a carnivorous animal and can even run up a curtain,
Said Holmes. But what does it have to do with the crime? I asked.
That is not clear to me.
He answered.
I think that something unusual occurred when Mrs. Barclay was away from the house. She was in a good mood before leaving, but when she came back, the servants heard her shouting. I have also asked her friend, Mrs. Morrison, for help. She has agreed to help her sick friend, Mrs. Barclay.
Mrs. Morrison said, When Mrs. Barclay and I returned from the meeting, we saw a deformed man on the side of the road who started talking to Mrs. Barclay. They had known each other 30 years back. The man was a cripple. He called her Nancy, and they both went aside to talk to each other for a few minutes. She was shocked to see him because she thought that he had died 30 years back. She made me promise not to tell anyone what had happened. I have not told you the whole truth. Had I known the danger in which my friend would find herself, I would have gone to the police.
This is what she had told me, Watson. The deformed man is Henry Wood. He is a performer who carries a creature in a box. Now, Watson, you know exactly where we stand and why I want you. It is plain that this fellow followed the ladies. He saw the Barclays quarrel and rushed in through the window, and that creature in his box got loose. All this is very certain. But he is the only one who can tell us what exactly happened in the room.
Said Holmes. And you are going to ask him? Said Watson.
I have asked someone to follow him night and day. So be ready to accompany me to Aldershot tomorrow. I will leave you now and bid you good night.
It was midday when we found ourselves at Hudson Street, where Woods lived. Even though he was now a cripple, he must have been a handsome man once. Holmes began speaking.
Hello, Mr. Henry Wood. You are from India, aren't you? I have come to talk to you about Barclay's death.
What should I know about that?
That is what I wanted to ask you. Your friend Mrs. Barclay might be sent to prison for her husband's murder.
Wood was shocked and asked, My God, is this true?
Yes.
Are you the police?
No.
Believe me, she is innocent.
Then you are guilty.
No, I'm not.
Who killed the colonel then?
It was his own guilty conscience that struck him down. But mind you, if I had knocked his brains out with my own hands, it would have served him right. Should I tell you the whole story? I'm not ashamed of anything. Many years ago, Barclay and I were together in the army in India. I was a handsome man and Nancy loved me. But her father wanted her to marry Barclay. And you know what Barclay did? He betrayed me to the enemy. And I was caught by them. They tortured me and I became a cripple. When I managed to escape, I learned to do tricks. I did not return to England because I could not bear to be seen like this. Everyone thought I was dead. I did not contact anyone, not even Nancy. I did not want her to see me as a cripple. I came to know that Nancy had married Barclay. Wood continued. But when one gets old, one longs for home, and so it was with me. I saved enough to come back and came to Aldershot, where the soldiers are, for I know how to amuse them and earn enough to keep me alive.
So, that is how it was,
said Sherlock Holmes.
I already knew of your chance meeting with Mrs. Barclay. I suppose you followed her home and saw the quarrel between her and the colonel through the open window. She must have accused her of misconduct towards you, and you rushed into the room.
I did, sir, and the sight of me gave him such a fright. He fell down. His head hit the floor, but he was dead before he fell. The guilt he felt when he saw me killed him, not the fall. Nancy fainted. I took the key from her hand. My secret would have been out if I were caught. I thrust the key into my pocket and dropped my stick while I was chasing Teddy, who had run up the curtain. When managed to get him back into the box, I was off as fast as I could run.
Who is Teddy?
Asked Holmes.
The man opened the box in the corner and out slipped a beautiful reddish-brown creature.
It is a mongoose.
I cried. Yes, and you should see how he catches snakes. I have a cobra here without fangs, and Teddy catches it every night, much to the delight of the folks here.
That makes everything clear, Mr. Wood. There does not seem any object in blaming a dead man. You have the satisfaction of knowing that for 30 years he carried the burden of his guilt. I will take your leave now and have a word with Mr. Murphy, whom I can see in the street outside. Goodbye, sir, and thank you for clearing up the matter.
Murphy told us that the inquest was over. Medical evidence showed that death was due to apoplexy. Quite a simple case after all, said the Major.
Oh, remarkably simple,
Agreed Holmes with a smile.